Like a witch outfit.
Oh, be quiet.
Look like a witch coming up this
Be quiet.
steps.
Oh, nice.
Don't do that. Thanks for tuning in to Backyard Broadheads. We're going to take a look at a ladder stand today. It's from Guide Gear. I got it on Amazon. It's their 2-man 17-foot ladder stand, and it has like soft vinyl seats. Me and my wife had a metal tree stand, metal seat, a bar in your back, or if you cut out the bar, no bar in your back. We were extremely uncomfortable last year. My good reactions to this tree stand and my bad reactions to this tree stand, I'm going to leave them in the video. So my reaction in this video is up and down, so you might want to watch the whole thing to get my final opinion at the end, and also my wife's opinion of the tree stand. And there is a link in the description below if you want to check this out on Amazon. The products that I make and the gear that I use are available at backyardbroadheads.com. I just purchased this ladder tree stand. This is from Guide Gear. The Guide Gear 17-foot full platform ladder tree stand. The other ones I was considering were the Hawk Big Denali 2.0. It's about twice the cost of this one. It's around $450. And the other one I was considering was the Muddy Stronghold 18-foot. Those other two ladder stands cost a little bit more, and they're harder to find those in stock. This was available on Amazon. I'm in Western Pennsylvania. Amazon said it would take 2 weeks to deliver this, but it showed up in 3 days. Now, one big problem so far that hopefully isn't a problem, but I'm going to show you. There are 4 large holes in the box, and these are like holes you can reach your hand into, so I'm hoping that like a bag of hardware didn't fall out of there, or a straight piece of the tree stand didn't fall out. But we're gonna find that out right now as we open it up. Now, if all of our hardware is in this bag, then I don't think anything fell out of those holes. All right, here's our hardware. This is what I was worried about, that could fit out those holes. But they had that inside of a nice heavy duty bag, so we got all this stuff. That's good. More hardware. Safety harness. Oh, okay, so they give you 2 harnesses. That makes sense. It's a 2-man ladder stand. All right, so here's some paracord style rope. Hopefully this isn't what they want you to go from the top and X behind the tree and back down to the bottom. I'd rather have the nylon strap, but we'll find out later. Ladder section. Ladder section. Ladder section. This thing's really wide. That's kind of nice. Now something like this, these could have fallen out of those holes, so hopefully nothing did fall out. So here's a piece that has the plastic caps on it, and then I have two damaged ones, so we'll see what this is and where these go. Here's a tip that everybody can use when you are tree stand shopping. When you're getting a seat like that has the nylon style seats, take a look at the back of the backrest. A lot of them have a bar right here, and when you sit in that tree stand, you'll feel that bar. So either you're gonna have to feel it or be uncomfortable. What I usually do with my one tree stand that does have a bar, I get a foam pad and I put it here with electric tape. But you're better off to just get one that doesn't have a bar across the top that's actually touching this nylon. Now this one has a bar, but it's not touching the nylon. Like if I push on this, I don't feel that bar. So I think when I'm sitting on it, my back won't be hitting that bar. So when you're getting a seat like this, look at the top, in the back, make sure there's no bar touching the nylon. They're usually always exactly right at the top of the seat. So our seats are in good shape. So my next step is to look in the instruction manual, see everything that I'm supposed to have, and then check and see if it's all here. So I'll get back to you in a second. I went through the parts list and the directions, and it looks like everything is here. So I have the stuff laid out basically in order from left to right of the order which I'm going to need this stuff. Here's the 2 platform pieces. There's the tree support and the seats. So we're going to move on now to assembly. One big tip for tree stand safety is take your tree stands down right after the end of hunting season, because if you don't, as that tree grows, the strap at the top gets extremely tight, and the sun and all of the elements will really start to deteriorate your straps, and you know, they might just be broken by the time you go to take down your tree stand, or when you go to put up your tree stand they might break, or worst case scenario, while you're in the tree stand or while the tree stand's just sitting there, they can break. So make sure you take your tree stands down right after the end of hunting season. And then as far as tree stand assembly, one more tip I have here I'm going to show you is that I took all of the bolts that I have and I organized them and I marked down which length they are. So as I am building the tree stand, if I need a 1 1/4 inch bolt, I can just grab this one. I don't have to guess at which one I need. I have a little assembly tip here for you. When you're looking at this platform, so the part that you actually stand on, they tell you about the fact that part of the expanded metal is cut out in the back. So you can kind of see right there, it's cut out. That's for this piece to come down through. I thought it was so you could reach in with a wrench to get in there, but I had this bar in the back here. This is your seat support bar, this triangular thing. I had it in the back of this and it would not line up. So then I realized it needs to go in the front, come down through the hole in the expanded metal, and then your bolt should go in fairly easily. Don't do that. So I found out where these two little caps fell off of. They just go right on here. And they're fairly snug, but I'm probably going to glue them on. So those are back on. And they're not damaged at all. This step is where the two seats are going to be connected to the tree stand in the middle. So it's going to start with the longest bolt that the kit comes with, then one nut. Then it's going to go through the first seat. Then it's going to have this nylon spacer. After the spacer is going to be the middle part of the tree stand, is going to go right there. Then another spacer. Then it's going to go into the other seat here. Then it's going to have another nylon washer and then the nut. Judging by the pictures online and looking at this shooting rail and where that seat's going to come up to, it looks to me like the shooting rail is out too far. So I might end up shortening this, especially for my wife. She's going to have a hard time reaching out there. But I'm going to get it set up and in the tree stand before I make any modifications. So far with this tree stand, I'm happy with the price and the construction. The seats on this thing don't really have a stop in the back, but I think that whenever you sit in them, that having yourself sitting here is going to hold them from going back, because right now they do go back, but we'll test that out. I guess the nice thing about that is you can fold this seat down, but you can also fold the entire seat up. That can maybe keep leaves off of there. That might help with putting these safety straps on. So we'll test that out after we have it in there. Price and construction of this thing so far seem to be good. This ladder is extra wide. That should keep it a little bit more stable while you are getting the straps put on the top. It does take 2 straps, which is kind of cool. So you got your normal strap on the tree brace there, but then up top, where this should also be touching the tree, there's place for another strap. So double straps. Now, one thing I don't like is this came with paracord for your straps that go on the top and wrap around the back of the tree. I'm going to use this to set it up once, but after that I'm just going to go to Home Depot and get some regular nylon straps. They're just going to be a little bit easier and safer. And then also they give you a strap for the tree bar, or a piece of rope I mean, and I'm not going to use that. I suck at tying knots, and it's so much easier just to throw another ratchet strap on here for your ladder brace that goes in the middle of the ladder. So yeah, this is it so far. It's ready to head out to the woods for testing. This tree stand has a pretty cool feature, and it's a safety feature. So if you're looking at your ladder, normally these spring pins, they go through this way. And then that means that your shoe could bump off of it. But this one goes through this way. You can put the ring part on the outside, and there's really nothing for your boots or your shoes to hit off of. So you can see it goes through that way, and normally they go through that way. When you take these clips out, there is a spring on there, so you're going to want to close the clip again so the spring can't fall off. But the spring keeps these clips from rattling, so no more having to wrap electrical tape around them. Another nice little feature. As I was putting that leg onto there, it's a little bit tight. A rubber mallet would help, and some of the paint did get scraped off as I was assembling it. That one was a little easier, but 2 people would make it easier. And if it was built a little bit more precisely, that would make it easier. Most tree stands go together a little bit easier than this, but this isn't horrible. Me and my buddy Mark are pretty good at forgetting to take these ropes that go behind the tree and letting them down before you stand it up. Also, make sure your shooting rest is not flopped back before you stand it up, because it'll hit the tree and then you're kind of screwed. So shooting rest forward, and make sure you bring your ropes down. Now earlier I said I was going to replace these ropes with nylon, but this is a nicer paracord than what I'm used to, and I think it's going to be fine. So this is where you're supposed to have 3 people, 1 guy pulling on these ropes back here, 2 guys over there. So don't do it like this. Yeah, definitely don't do it that way, because those feet were stuck in the ground a little bit. If they would have slipped out at any point, thing's gonna fall back on top of me. At this point, what you want to do is walk out that way beside the tree stand, or walk out this way beside the tree stand. And you want to take a look up at your platform and see how level it looks. So I'm going to walk over here and do that. All right, so my platform is still tilted like this a little bit, so I'm going to bring those feet out some more. So now you can stomp your legs down into the ground. Hopefully they'll go all the way down in. Might have to bounce up and down, maybe put 2 people's weight on there. And now you can connect your middle ladder support and your 2 cross ropes in whatever order the instructions tell you to. So this doesn't reach the tree right now. These are all adjustable though, so you want to get it to where it touches the tree. If you didn't have this middle support, then this ladder is going to want to bend in the middle. That's why this is here. Now this tree stand came with a rope to tie this onto the tree over here, and I'm terrible at tying knots, and it's going to stay longer better if I put a ratchet strap on here, so I'm going to use one of my own ratchet straps. They give you 2, but those both go up top. Also, make sure you clear out all around the base of your tree, maybe behind the tree too. It just makes things easier and safer, less stuff to trip on. Try to keep this strap level I'm not going to go crazy with that one because this bar is just spot welded on here. Your tree stand is similar to a ladder, it's just tied on a lot more places. So in the ground, if your legs go down in, that's pretty secure. In the middle, you have a bar that the ladder doesn't have, that's secure. Most tree stands have one strap at the top, this one has two at the top. Now this is the part where you want to have your safety harness on first, and you want to have two people holding the base of the ladder before you go up. Our next step is you need to tie your top ropes in a crisscross behind the tree and back to the ladder before you climb. So don't ever climb without a secure base, your middle bar for the ladder secured, and your two top ropes going behind the tree and back down to your tree stand. That's for your average tree stand. Some of them have that claw at the top. Also, with this tree stand, it's going to be a little bit more picky about the tree that you use. It's going to want pretty much a straight up and down tree, maybe one that's tilted back or forward, but just a little bit, because it has two anchor points. And then the rope from this side goes behind the tree and ties to the ladder on the other side. At this point, make sure you have at least 3 people. Make sure you have a safety harness on, and either a rope that goes up and your clip goes up with you, or have your harness on and your strap ready to put on your tree as soon as you get to the top. If you're going up right now, don't forget your ratchet straps. And make sure you put these in your pockets so that your hands are free. When you're climbing, you want to always have 3 points of contact. Here's your 4 points, your 2 feet and your 2 hands. You only want to move one thing at a time, like that. Also, as you're going up, grab the rungs of the ladder. Don't grab the sides, because if you grab the sides and you fall down, so you're grabbing this like this, and you fall down, when your hand gets to that rung, as your hand slides down, if you're falling, this can pry your hand off of there. So grab your rungs as you're going up, 3 points of contact. We're gonna switch now to the GoPro so you can see what it's like going up. It can be sketchy. All right, we're going up now. Remember, 3 points of contact. Don't do this if you're by yourself. And make sure you have a very straight tree, and I'll show you why. This part right here is touching here, but it's not touching here. That's because this part is stopping it. So this tree tilts like this too much. You want to have a more straight up and down tree for this particular ladder stand. And now we got to figure out, I think I'm going to put this strap on first. All right, so these straps are not assembled in the bag, so make sure you assemble those before you come up your ladder stand. So I have a longer ratchet strap now. This is going to get hooked on here. And now I have to get the rest of this around the tree. And before I said this can be sketchy, it's more like it's usually sketchy. We'll put this on the expanded metal for now. This is a big platform, so it's hard to reach. I'm going to go with the swing method. Another reason why you want 2 people for this. Someone else with a long stick. Push this around to you. Oh, I can't believe I got it. Holy crap. All right, so our strap's not level, but I'm going to take what I can get for now, and then we're going to be repeating this same step in the back here. Right here, there's a hole here and a hole there for our top strap. I'm up here in the guide gear 17-foot 2-man ladder stand, and I sat down for the first time, and my first thoughts are I should have gotten the Hawk Big Denali. Now, this tree stand's not bad, and it's way more comfortable than the ones that just have metal down here and a bar in your back up here. So if that's what you're looking for, it's just fine. I was looking for extreme comfort, and I went with the cheaper option, and I don't know if I'm ever going to learn my lesson on this. Also, if you do get this one and you're setting it up, and once you get your platform level, I would still go even more to get your seats tilted back a little bit. And then if you can find a tree that's tilted back just a tiny bit, that's going to help too. Let me switch seats here again. So, I mean, this is a comfortable seat if I just sit down, but if I think about sitting for a long time hunting with my wife, I want to sit down and be like, oh man, this is awesome. And it's nice. I mean, this is a comfortable seat. I know I'm just repeating myself, but I mean, I want you to understand what I'm thinking. It's a comfortable seat, but the big denali, the seats are higher, and you're further out from the tree, which makes you more comfortable, but it also gives you less of a backdrop with the tree. So, you know, factor that into your decision. Remember, I was looking at this guide gear, the Muddy Stronghold, and the Hawk Big Denali. Here's my view from up here. So I might switch trees because this one's a little bit crooked. I like to put some targets maybe out there somewhere, possibly over this way. Nice path back that way. Also, I mentioned earlier that I thought that the shooting rest was going to need lowered. I think it's actually perfect. You know, unless you have a deer directly under you, I mean, there's enough room here. You could get the crossbow in here to shoot down, but you're probably going to be shooting out. So yeah, I think the shooting rest is okay. Let's check out some more stuff. So here, that seat does fold up. It's bumping on this armrest a little bit, but I don't think that's a big deal. So that folds up out of your way so you can stand up if you're going to archery shoot. Make sure you have a safety harness on. I've been sitting up here a little bit longer, thinking some more, checking this out some more. I don't have any comfort issues with it, and my wife's shorter than me. I'm starting to think that this might be perfect for her, because like my legs are up a little bit, but hers might be perfect. It's got a low backrest. That might be perfect for her. And also for any other hunter, maybe you don't want something that's too comfortable to where you're relaxed too much. Maybe you're going to fall asleep. You know, if you sit up in this thing, maybe that's going to keep you more alert and more comfortable. So just another way of looking at it. I'm not sure exactly how to rate it on comfort from 1 to 10. Maybe like a 7, 7.5. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a straighter tree and put this up in a better tree. All right, so I tried to set the tree stand up again. It was too far away from the tree, so I stood it up straight and tried to lift it and move it, and it fell down, and I bent it and it hit me on the head. So don't do this stuff by yourself. So I got it back up, got a little bit of help from my dad. This is the new spot here. Let's go up there and check it out. Okay, now since I bent this, it's a little hard to put the seats down now, but normally it's not like that. So there's a lot of room up here for standing. Great if you are shooting with a compound bow. Normally those seats go up and down, they just bump a little bit. I gotta push that out now because I bent the freaking thing. Okay, so we are up here, and I figured out my opinion on this tree stand. This thing is the next step above a metal tree stand with an uncomfortable metal seat and an uncomfortable metal bar in your back. The bottom part of this feels real good. There is a bar in the back here, and like if you try to hit it with your back, you can hit it, but as far as hunting, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I can feel it just a little tiny bit. So it's priced appropriately. It's a little bit more than just a basic metal 2-man, and you're getting more comfort. You're also getting more standing room. If that's what you want, it's perfect. And I'm pretty confident I can sit for like a long evening hunt in this tree stand with no issues. I'm still now considering keeping this but also getting the Hawk big denali because that's what I really want. Now the fact that the seats don't fold up as easily as they did before is kind of a good thing. That way when you're putting the tree stand up, they can't flop back and get in the way. How like sometimes the shooting rest flops back and gets in the way when you're setting up the tree stand. So that's not a big deal. Another thing you should know about this tree stand, it has 2 anchor points on the tree. So this is going to want a fairly straight tree. So you should know that before you purchase. If you do want to get one of these, there's an Amazon link in the description below. I'm here with Wifey today, and we are going to test out the tree stand. First, we're going to randomly place the target. This is the yellow jacket target, so she's going to give it a kick down the hill to just send it to a random place. Yeah, I went even further last time. So it's heading down the hill. The tree stand is right over there. So it's going to be a nice long shot. And it landed right side up. That's pretty cool. I'm going to give it a little bit of a turn just so it's facing the target, or facing the tree stand. The tree stand's over here. We're going to climb up now so we can get her initial reaction to how she likes the tree stand and how comfortable it is. Okay, Nettie's going to come up now. Oh, we're going to have a good angle here. Look like a witch outfit.
Oh, be quiet.
Look like a witch coming up this
steps. Oh, nice. I put my hair down and go,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable than the other one.
Can you say that louder?
It's a lot more comfortable than the other one.
Oh, it's way better than, we're used to just a metal back bottom. We cut the bar off the back of our old tree stand, and we were both completely miserable last hunting season. We were going to get that Hawk big denali, but we spent a little bit less money. Got this one from Amazon. There's a link in the description if you end up wanting it. So she likes it. Can you feel the bar at all in your back?
No.
All right, so she can't feel that bar in your back at all. If I like try to feel it, I can feel it right there, but just sitting normal, sitting up, paying attention for hunting, it's fairly comfortable. So yeah, sitting in this for hunting, this is 10 times better than what we had before. So,
yeah, and I don't know, as a short person it's nice. Like the seats are the right height if you're short. I don't know how you feel because you're like...
I'm a little bit tall. I'm sure that the Hawk big denali would be more comfortable, but also with that one, it gets you out further away from the tree. That's why they are able to recline those seats. And then you're not going to have as much backdrop of the tree as your backdrop to hide your outline. Another thing that I said before in this video, I thought that it was possible to tilt back in these chairs if you had a small diameter tree. But once I looked at the teeth, I looked down in here, I realized that any tree that is safe to put up with this tree stand is going to block the chair from going back. So it's not going to be possible to tip back like I thought. So we're going to get to ranging and shooting. We'll get back to you in a second. So right now she's practicing looking at your target and then bringing the scope into your line of sight. That's going to make it a lot easier to find your target. Also, with this setup, I'll show you what we're looking at here. So it's kind of downhill and the target's out there. The bar for her on this shot is a little bit too high. For me, it's fine. For her, it's too high. So she's going to be shooting under the bar.
It's hard to see the little reticule in there.
She said reticule instead of reticle.
I'm scared the shit out
I'm
of me.
sorry. I was aiming for the beam.
I'm having a hard time even with the rest.
Yeah. Am I good right here?
Yep. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Here are my final thoughts. We're definitely going to keep this tree stand, and we were able to save $200 by not getting the Hawk big denali. Also, this tree stand keeps you tighter to the tree, so you're going to have a better backdrop with this tree stand. As far as shortening the rail, our first setup, we were looking uphill and it seemed okay. Second setup, downhill and it seemed too high. Her tree stand spot, you're mostly going to have level shots straight out. So we're going to put it in place before we decide if we're going to modify that shooting rail at all. With this tree stand, a straight up and down tree is going to be fine. If you get one that's tilted back a little bit, just take your ladder and put it tilted back at that same angle. That way those two different points on the back of the seat area, both of them will be touching the tree. Also, with having those 2 points on this tree stand instead of just one with most tree stands, that thing at the top is rock solid. It's solid at the bottom too, but when you wiggle it from the bottom to make sure it's secure, that thing's not going anywhere. I complained earlier about the paracord for tying the top of this tree stand behind the tree and back down, but I like the paracord. It doesn't feel like that 2-layer paracord where the outside sleeve will move on the inside sleeve. It's just like a high quality paracord, so we're going to keep that. It's also easy to tie knots with that. And another tip for whenever you do go to put your straps around the top that go around the tree, what you can do is get your first hook on and then lower the other hook to your second person. And if they have a piece of pipe, like a long piece of copper pipe, they can take that hook and stick it in the top of the copper pipe, and they can then bring that around to the other side of the tree and hand you the other hook. That's going to be a lot easier and a lot safer. You're not going to be trying to swing that rope and having your body weight shift around and possibly having the tree stand move. So they just hand it to you, hook it right on, and then you can do your ratcheting to get that strap on. So we like the tree stand. We're going to be comfortable in it, and we're going to be hunting with it this archery season. If you want to look at one on Amazon, there is a link in the description below. Thanks for checking out Backyard Broadheads, and please let me know what you would like to see in future videos.